All right, Comcast On Demand. And you know, when you're listening throughout the day, you're going to probably hear a number of songs that were up for awards at the Billboard Music Awards on ABC last night. And I'm sure you're definitely going to hear Drake. Nominated 22 times, the Canadian rap star walked away with 10 awards last night. So that was the big story from the Billboard Music Awards. Here's the big story from the Pratte Gym today. Do you have one of these? A Coons Rewards card? If not, when you get to one of your 9 neighborhood Coons markets, get yourself one. It will pay off. Also, speaking of Coons, we're enjoying today in the Pratte Gym a little Green Mountain K-Cup blueberry coffee. And I must say, it is a good cup of coffee. Now, Memorial Day. It is fast approaching, a week from today. Picnics, parades, visiting local cemeteries, and I hope that you salute veterans everywhere. And if you get a chance, go out and see my good friend Paul Schilling and his father. What a crown jewel in Beaver County, the Air Heritage Museum at the Beaver County Airport. But when you're at Coons Market, I picked this up last week and I've just been so busy I haven't had a chance to tell you about it. You see that? Red, white, and barbecue. All sorts of great coupons and great recipes as you kind of get ready to welcome friends and family and enjoy some time at your barbecue, and of course using that Weber grill. Now, tonight on the program, Rob Pratte, Monday night, we start at 7. It is the Allegheny Health Network program, Medical Frontiers. Neotology will be the topic of conversation. Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer, your amazing host. His guest will be Dr. Barbara Klauser and Dr. Gretchen Grimmel. That's coming up tonight, Neotology, from 7 to 8 on News Radio 1020 KDKA. And then throughout the night, everything trending on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to get to some of the top trending stories on Facebook in just a couple of moments. That will definitely be a part of our conversation tonight. And in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about the amazing rise of Amazon. What a building block it has been for corporate America. Amazon.com is where you can find out more. Jim Meredith, he, of course, the voice of Heffron, Tillotson, Your Money and You yesterday, celebrating 31 years behind the microphone. We're going to talk not only about that, but a major story trending on Facebook and everywhere worldwide today, and it has to do with Ford CEO Mark Field. He is going to be replaced by former Steelcase CEO Jim Hackett. Now, at one time, Mr. Hackett was in Ford's mobility division, and he happens to be one of the favorites of Executive Chairman Bill Ford Jr. So we'll talk about that with Mr. Meredith tonight, and he was hitting on that with one of our great callers yesterday, talking about some of the transitions at Ford. We'll discuss that. You know, my son this coming Sunday will graduate from Quigley Catholic with an amazing Mass at St. Ferdinand's in Cranberry. Catholic education from Cardinal World North Catholic to Central Catholic, and of course, Oakland Catholic, Quigley Catholic, all of these amazing Catholic high schools, Bishop Canevin, Greensburg, Central Catholic in our region. We're going to talk about Catholic education tonight and what it really does mean. And I watched my children matriculate through St. John's in Monaca, my daughter St. Monica's in Beaver Falls, and she now going to be a junior next year at Quigley. My son graduating, as I mentioned. And it's an amazing journey, and I have been very impressed with that long trail that I have been on on that trail with them side by side. So we're going to talk about that tonight with Bishop Zubik, and also pay tribute to the passing of the man who founded Federated Investors and a true man of faith, a Catholic, and just an incredible individual, Jack Donahue. We'll be talking about him as well tonight in the 8 o'clock hour. And then John Mowat is going to drop by, ladies and gentlemen. I talked to John today, and we're going to be taking a look at the Memorial Day weekend box office. And man, there are going to be a lot of good movies coming out. And tonight with John, we're going to be talking about Alien Covenant 2017 as that trilogy continues. Guardians of the Galaxy as well, and the Wonder Woman movie that everybody has been anticipating. Baywatch, of course. It is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Zac Efron, and that great television series with David Hasselhoff that was on for so many years. And Johnny Depp, incredible actor. Absolutely can't get enough of that guy. He's an amazing talent. He is back, Jack Sparrow, as a producer and actor in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. That great Disney company behind that brand. And Mr. Paul McCartney also with a bit part in it. But whenever it's one of the Fab Four, it's never a bit part, right? He's in there. And you're going to see Orlando Bloom back and Keira Knightley back as well. So we'll be talking all about that coming up tonight with John Mowat. Now, here's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about sports. A lot of stuff going on, folks, in the way of sports. But we have to begin by talking about the Penguins, right? Matt Murray, 25 saves. Carter Rowney, 3 assists. Brian Rust, a goal and an assist. Some of the stars of the game, but it was Mata, along with Russ, Crosby, and Wilson in that first period scoring, then Cullen in the second. Kessel and Trevor Daley in the third. Pens win 7-0. They lead their best of 7 Eastern Conference final, 3-2, and they can close it out at the Canadian Tire Center tomorrow night. And let's just hope that they do that. Meanwhile, tonight it will be Nashville leading 3-2 against Anaheim, trying to close out the Ducks in the Western Conference final. That will be seen on the NBC Sports Network from the Bridgestone Arena. So that's hockey for you. Now, as far as baseball is concerned, Chad Kuhl, 5 scoreless innings yesterday. Pirates winners, 1-0 over Philadelphia. Tonight they begin a 4-game set with the Atlanta Braves, who they met in early April, when the temperatures were in the 30s, and they swept them in what really was a close game each and every time. Garrett Cole gets the start this evening. Of course, Chris Mack, Jack Slorenzig begin the pregame festivities, and you can hear all the action a little after 7 on 93.7 The Fan. So that is some sports news for you. What else do we have to tell you about? Well, it was an amazing golf tournament, AT&T Byron Nelson Classic in Irving, Texas yesterday. Jason Day battled back, got into a playoff, but when it was all said and done, it was the putter that came through for Billy Herschel. He is the winner there. So congratulations to him, and also Jason Day for making a fine effort. That was an amazing golf tournament. And coming up within the month, the St. Jude's Classic will be here. Also, Jack Nicklaus's The Memorial, the first weekend in June in Dublin, Ohio. And then before you know it, it will be Aaron Hills, Wisconsin, the U.S. Open, and also a big weekend for the former pro and director of golf at Oakmont, now spending his time at Seminole. Truly one of the best from this region. Bob Ford is going to be receiving the Bobby Jones Award. He is the first club pro to ever get that honor. And you heard Mike Dudurich of The Golf Show, who you can hear every Saturday at 7 on 93.7 The Fan, talking about it with me over the weekend. So a tip of the hat to Mr. Bob Ford. Now, what about the NBA? You know, Isaiah Thomas is out. Everybody's ready to kind of say, all right, Boston, you made a great run, but you've run out of that Irish luck. Well, there must have been some leprechauns in the building at Quicken Loans Arena last night. Boston beat Cleveland 111-108. Avery Bradley's three-pointer danced around the rim, less than a second left. It dropped in. They win it. Marcus Smart led Boston with 27. Kyrie Irving had 29 for the Cavs. So now it is 2-1 in favor of Cleveland, and they will be back at it on Tuesday night on TNT at 8:30. Coming up tonight, Golden State can run the table on San Antonio. Coach Popovich, though, of San Antonio, every year he finds himself in a big-time playoff position, and this has to be another one because they want to stave off elimination, down 3-0. It'll be at the AT&T Center, and it's at 9 p.m., and you can watch it on ESPN. We've got more for you in the way of headlines, in the way of some major stories on Facebook today, including that Ford CEO Mark Field being replaced by new CEO Jim Hackett. Also, the president's first budget proposal, some sweeping cuts in Medicaid, about $800 billion over the next 10 years. Also, talking about cuts in the way of food stamps as well. And that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out as it moves forward. Also, Theresa May, who's the Prime Minister of Britain, did a U-turn on some healthcare news. It has to do with the increase of the amount that elderly and homeowners pay for their care. So that's something that's trending in Britain today. Michael Flynn, the former National Defense Minister, may evoke the Fifth Amendment. And this is the big story that we are going to definitely be talking about in earnest tonight. President Donald Trump and his historic trip in Israel is underway. first American president to visit the Western Wall, and he is meeting now with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and they're supposed to both have a statement coming up shortly, and you can hear it, I'm sure, on News Radio 1020 KDK in cooperation with our great partners at CBS Radio News. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot, but we're always doing heavy lifting in the Pratt Pack Gym, and I hope you join me tonight on Rob Pratt Monday night at 7 on News Radio 1020 KDK. Good afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather and your Monday in Western Pennsylvania.